Good morning and welcome to Morning Scoop for Sunday, March 13th. This is your daily Buckeye Fix. I'm Tom Orr. The spring game is in 34 days, the Notre Dame game in 174 days, the game against Michigan in 258 days. Today is Selection Sunday for the NCAA men's basketball tournament, so Chris Holtmann and his team will find out where they're headed for the big dance, as well as who they'll face when they get there. That'll come out a little after 6 o'clock tonight. We'll be talking about that matchup on tomorrow's morning show, but today, it's time for football. So, this past week, the Ohio State running backs and wide receivers met with the media to answer questions about the first week of spring ball. They are off on spring break right now, after the first two practices of the spring. Today, you're going to get to hear directly from guys like TreVeyon Henderson and one of the real up-and-coming players in the wide receiver room, Jayden Ballard, about off-season training, the opening of spring ball, and much more. As always, these clips are courtesy of the Ohio State University Athletics Department. TreVeyon Henderson started his college career with a 1,000-yard season as a true freshman. He's never been someone who's really lacked for confidence, but how much more comfortable is he now entering his second season? You'll hear that, and then you're going to hear a follow-up from Spencer Holbrook of Letterman Row.
Yeah, I'm way more confident than what I was coming into here. Just knowing the offense, knowing the speed of the game, and then practicing against some of the best players in the country all year round. I'm way more confident there.
I think one of the only things that people kind of knocked you for last year as a freshman was, can this guy get more patient? Have you become a more patient runner this year?
What do you mean by that?
Like finding a hole, like making sure that you hit the right place at the right time. Like, how you tried to work on patience a little bit?
I think I'm one of the best running backs in college football with my vision. Most fans just don't know. I think most fans just don't know how football works. They might see a hole over here, but the play is not designed to hit over there. If we go over there, we're on our own. Our blocks is getting set up over here. So, I know what they're talking about. I've seen a couple of times I could have hit out here, but they didn't understand. It's a free block over there. If I go over there, I'm on the island. But, yeah, I think I got one of the best vision in college football.
Earlier last week, coaches talked about the importance of picking up consistent gains, even if they weren't home runs. The analogy they used was picking up nickels off the ground and accumulating value over time, rather than just waiting to find a dollar. So, is that something they've talked about with Henderson?
Yeah, that's what I learned more at the end of the season. Most people, as I was talking earlier, most people at the beginning of the season saw those big runs at the beginning of the season, but later in the season, once we started playing great defenses, I had to be, I may not hit several big runs this game. Maybe I'm just getting 3 to 5 yard runs, but I love runs like that.
Name, image, and likeness rights have been a huge story in college football over the past year, and while a lot of the focus has gone to things like guys getting flashy cars, there is a more substantive side of NIL as well. One example is TreVeyon Henderson, who has taken a bunch of his earnings and used them to help out his family. You're going to hear about that, and then you're going to hear a few follow-ups from Rob Aller of the Columbus Dispatch.
I watched my mom struggle growing up, having trouble trying to take care of us and provide for us, but she worked so hard, and she always did whatever she had to do to make sure we were straight. And now with NIL coming in, I can take care of her for forever, hopefully forever. But yeah, this is just the start. She's straight now. She don't have to worry about anything.
Does she have multiple jobs or just one job? Or
yeah, she got 2 jobs. She working 2 jobs. I think she's still working the second job, but I know she got 1 job for sure.
What were they?
She's a accountant, and the other one was just a little side job.
The other true freshman running back from last year, Evan Pryor, had a very different first season with the Buckeyes. He played in only 4 games, took a red shirt, and finished with 21 carries for 98 yards. Was that the first season he was expecting? You're going to hear his answer on that, and then a couple of short follow-up questions from Austin Ward of Letterman Row.
No one, or I don't think anyone does, but I didn't come in, expecting a red shirt.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. The team needed me to do what I had to do, which was, stay another year, get ready. So that's what I did. So.
Hearing so much about the way you went through the winter program and a lot of praise for that. Mm-hmm. What is it about what you did you think that you accomplished personally?
Just gaining weight, getting stronger, things that maybe I lacked last year that probably kept me off the field. Just improving all around, not just on the field, but in the weight room as well. Just focusing in on that.
How much weight did you put on?
I put on about 10 pounds. I said at the end of last year, I was 192. I'm at 200, 202.
Does that feel different? You notice an impact on that?
I don't actually. I feel like I don't because I put it on right this time.
Okay.
When I came in, I was probably around the same weight, but it looked a little different. So it feels way better now.
Mick has a way of changing.
Yeah, Coach Mick, yeah. You know what you're doing.
He was asked a similar question about redshirting a little later and went into a little bit more detail and took it in kind of a different and interesting direction. So here's what Evan Pryor had to say the second time.
Last year was tough. Not playing. Everyone wants to come in and play. But seeing Trey, who came in, did an outstanding job his freshman year. Seeing things he did, how he went about his business, was good as well. Knowing that me redshirting, this is basically coming up my freshman season. So kind of taking the same steps, and just getting ready, preparing with these guys. Mine and Trey having freshman years already, just helping me, the things they already went through. Giving me tips, things like that. So I can't wait.
That weight gain that he talked about earlier was a necessity. Pryor played last season a little bit undersized for Big Ten back, and he knew it was important to get a little bit bigger. Because last season, talking to Coach Alford, being able to run in the tackles, in between the tackles, you got to be able to, take one. So, it's probably tough to take one at 192 pounds, especially playing Big Ten football. So that was something we came in and made emphasis this offseason, even toward the end of last season, putting on weight, and just making sure when it came down to it, running between the tackles, it wasn't a problem if I had to get hit or whatever the case may be. That's all a part of being a more well-rounded player, something that Pryor said he thinks he can be this year.
Yeah, I feel we can do the same things, just feel like, my ability out the backfield is a plus. As I'm a running back first, I can do things between the tackles, whether it's outside zone, whatever the case may be. I think my pass blocking is taking a big step this offseason, something me and Coach Alfred really just keyed in on. So it'd be interesting to see what happens when we get the pads on, though. But I feel well, being around those guys, being able to compete.
Did you ever watch what Curtis Samuel did in this offense, or has Coach Alford ever showed you any clips of what Curtis Samuel did?
Yeah. I remember watching the Team Up North game when he won the game-winning touchdown. He had the game-winning touchdown. I watched that whole game because in really first half, maybe things weren't really going his way. I remember the game like it was yesterday. And he just kept, different ways getting him the ball, whether it was a jet sweep, handoff, outside zone, wherever the case may have been, throws down the field. I can see myself doing things just like that as well, but, keeping it, running back as well. So.
One of the guys being discussed as a potential breakout player this spring is wide receiver Jayden Ballard. He was a little bit under the radar last season, but has come a long way since then. So where does he think he's improved over the last year? You're going to hear that answer, and then a couple of follow-ups from Dan Hope of 11 Warriors.
Probably like formation, like plays and stuff, formation-wise, knowing the signals, knowing what route I'm running, stuff like that.
I know that, route running is a big thing you learn here, Coach Hartline. How much do you feel like you've grown in that area?
I feel like I've grown pretty well, pretty good. And I think he sees that in me too, and I feel like I'm obviously progressing in my routes as well.
What do you feel like are things you need to do to give yourself a chance to get on the field and play a lot this year?
I feel like being more vocal, being a leader, and working harder every day.
Lastly today, a guy who has a chance to be the really feel-good story this season, wide receiver Kamryn Babb. Now, Babb came to Ohio State way back in 2018 as one of the best receiving prospects in the country, but he missed the 2018 season at Ohio State with a knee injury, then missed the 2019 season with another one. He played in all 8 games in 2020, mostly on special teams. He didn't catch a pass, though. He was actually elected as a captain in 2021, and then missed the year with yet another knee injury. So, going back to high school, he's had a total of 4 ACL injuries, 2 on each knee. Now he's back for a 5th season, is cleared to play, and is wearing jersey number 1. So now has he improved as a wide receiver through all those injuries and the rehab stints? You're going to hear him mention Stu here in this answer. That is Adam Stewart, the head physical therapist and athletic trainer.
I would say, man, with Stu, the great thing about him is he always tries to incorporate football. Like, it's not just like working on the knee, but it's like when you get out and start cutting and doing all these things, it's like we're working on football stuff. So a lot of the times when they're doing things, the individual and stuff like that, like I'm over there on the side doing the same exact things with Stu and working on my things. And, he'll record me and I'll watch certain things that I got to fix and do, and even talk to Coach Hart about it. So basically kind of just doing the same things that they're doing in practice without the DB in front of me, man. Even having Stu be that DB sometimes. So just try to make it as much as football as it can be, and just God has kind of just helped me do it. So yeah, I just say.
After only playing a small number of snaps on offense in his first 4 seasons, what is Babb realistically hoping to accomplish this year?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I believe the sky's the limit, but that's up to Coach Day and Coach Hart and the offense, and we got so many great receivers in this room. How dare I be selfish, and just ask for the ball or whatever it may be, man. I want everybody to eat, and I want everybody to get theirs because everybody deserves to shine. So when it's whenever my number is called, I just want to make that play and just want to tell people that Jesus got me to this point. He's the reason I'm able to do what I'm able to do. So.
After going through 4 ACL surgeries and 4 rehabs, does Babb feel any different? Does he feel the impact of those injuries?
Yeah, I don't really. In terms of my knees, I don't really feel anything. I guess you can say there's still at times like a mental aspect to it, just with all injuries. But in terms of physically how I feel, and I just feels like I've never really done. Actually, I would say I'm stronger. I don't know how that works, but I feel stronger and a lot faster than I ever have. So.
Babb is going to be one of those players that I think Ohio State fans are really going to be rooting for this year. It is a really inspiring story. He's fought through an awful lot and is a very easy guy to root for. So hopefully this does all come together for him this fall, and he gets to have the 5th season that he deserves at this point. We're going to have a lot more with more of the wide receivers a little bit later on in the week. We didn't get a chance to hear from Jackson Smith and Jigba, Marvin Harrison Jr., Julian Fleming. Those are all guys also who are going to be big parts of this fall's Ohio State team. You'll hear from them a little later on in the week. We'll be back tomorrow with a little bit of basketball talk heading into the NCAA tournament. And then the rest of the week, going to be a lot more football talk. So there's plenty to talk about. Very busy, very exciting time around the Ohio State football program. And so hope you guys will stick with us as we can continue working through spring ball leading up to the spring game on April 16th. That'll do it for today. Thank you guys all for joining us. Have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.